I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming tonight. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this meeting has been duly advertised in the FRHSD issued June 16, 2016. All municipal clerks of the townships and the boroughs within the regional high school district have been duly notified, and the requirements of posting of notices have been met. Minutes approval. Motion for minutes approval.
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Sam. We need discussion. Discussion. Seeing none. Mr. Boyce.
Mr. Asatola?
Abstain.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Canario?
Abstain.
Mr. Carollo?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Abstain.
Mrs. Satara?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes. Okay, communications on file and board secretary reports. Superintendent's report.
Okay, so we are going to open up this evening by recognizing our support staff members of the year. This is something that we began a few years back, and our paraprofessionals in the district really do so much work behind the scenes that folks don't always see with our neediest population, and go above and beyond on a daily basis. And we felt that it was important to begin to recognize some of the exceptional work that really exudes in that department across the district. So we want to recognize some folks this evening. So we have a little bit of a process here. So I'm going to call each individual up one at a time. Dr. Hazel and Ms. Davis will present the awards, and we're going to line everybody up. So come up here and stay. And then I'm going to come around. We're going to do the obligatory photo op. But I want to take a couple minutes to recognize everyone. So first, we'll call Nancy Nees from Colts Neck High School. Nancy apparently travels with a fan club. Nancy has 15 years of service with the Freehold Regional High School District, works as a one-to-one para with the STEP and LLD programs, and supports students who participate in the after-school recreation program. Congratulations, Nancy. Next, from Freehold High School, we have Dominic Poliferone. Dominic has been with the Freehold Regional High School District for 7 years. Is a one-to-one para and job coach with the Workplace Training Program, works in the Extended School Year Summer Program, and supports students who participate in the After-School Rec Program. I feel like I should be. Dominic is a Sagittarius who, I'm joking. From Freehold Township High School, Bernice Weinschenker. This is Bernice's 25th year of service with the Freehold Regional High School District. She's a para in the PEP program, supports the after-school recreational dances. And Bernice, congratulations, because we know that you're retiring in February. So all the best to you. I'm right behind you, Bernice, with that. From Howe High School, Madeline Notholt. Madeline's 12 years of service at the Freehold Regional High School District, is a one-to-one para with the Autism Spectrum Program, works in the Extended School Year Summer Program, and supports students who participate in the After-School Recreation Program. Congratulations. From Manalapan High School, we have Judith Kasparius. 9 years of service with the Freehold Regional High School District, is a one-to-one para during the school days, supports SEAC events and students participating in extracurricular activities. Congratulations, Judith. And from Marlborough High School, we have Marguerite Swerbel. 17 years of service with the Freehold Regional High School District, is a one-to-one para in the LLD program, supports students who participate in the after-school recreation program. And my oldest daughter's name is Marguerite. It's an absolutely beautiful name.
before Mr. Sampson continues, the Board of Education would like to thank all the paras for their hard work. And on a personal note, although I don't know Nancy personally, I just want to say that if GCG thinks that she's good, then she's good with me.
So a few additional items for my report. We will be celebrating Back to School Night this Thursday at 6:30 across our 6 high schools. We've really, I think, worked very diligently over the past several years to tighten up that agenda so that it's really packed for our parents. I won't take any of that personally. We'll take a 30-second break. All right, so a few additional items. Obviously, school is back and we're in full swing. It was an incredibly smooth opening to the school year. I think our systems are really in place to just really step right back into the school year. I heard a number of folks comment over the past week or so that it feels like school has been back in a good way for weeks, that we're humming along in our routines. And I think that speaks to me to the diligence that folks put in over the summer months to really prepare for that opening. And I think it pays dividends when the students arrive and we're ready to receive them and really just ready to get right down to teaching and learning. A couple weeks back, we had our convocation. My address is up on the website. I always think it's really important at the start of the school year for the superintendent of schools to get up in front of the faculty and staff and really talk about some of the things that are important for the school system and provide a real clear directional on where we might be headed as a school system. The theme of this year's talk was around time and what time means and how it can be either limiting or liberating, and how that when we boil it all down, we know that when a 9th grader enters our hallways, and by the time they exit, they will have spent about 4,400 hours in classroom. And what are we doing with that 4,400 hours? And how are we maximizing our time? And we know exactly how much time we have at all time, right? No pun intended. But what are we doing? Are we using it? We can't use it as an excuse. It's not about, I don't have enough time, I can't cover this. And I talked about some of the inadvertent stressors that are placed on students when we really start chasing time rather than planning proactively and knowing how we're going to spend our moments with the children that we serve. So it was really focused on just being more present about how we're engaging with our use of time as the adults in the system, and really just taking a look and making sure that we are always sort of maximizing what we have with our students. And as a 4-year high school only district, we receive those students in 9th grade, and we don't. At the end of the day, we don't have a lot of time, and 4,400 hours seems like a lot, but it's not. And I discussed your perception if I would ask you to give you an hour to do something versus a week versus a year, and what that looks like. And well, we know how we can plan backwards with the time we have, so we have to really meet that head on and meet those challenges in a way that best serve our students. So I'm always really inspired by the energy in the room when you bring 900 or so folks together after the summer, and you step out and you take a look in the auditorium of the excitement, and it's palpable, and the energy in that room is always my favorite day of the year. And I think it sets a terrific tone for what happens in our buildings over the course of the school year. And we followed that up with some really strong professional development in the second part of the day around our school goals. And so there were a lot of dovetails between what happened at the convocation, the planning for that, and then what happened with faculty and staff in their faculty and department meetings later in the day. So it was a very energizing opening. It was a very strong opening. It was something I felt really proud of. And I think that that has carried over into the school year in terms of how we've moved forward to date. Just a few notes. So the state of New Jersey has changed the evaluation procedures and requirements for faculty and staff. One of the things that they had reduced the number of required evaluations, if a district was so inclined to do that, to 20-minute shorts. We've elected not to move to just short evaluations because we think that there's real value in long evaluations of staff members where you meet with them first, talk to them proactively about what's happening during a pre-conference, and then follow up. We feel there's real areas for growth there to help our faculty and staff develop, and it's something that we're going to maintain regardless of the changes to the minimum, which, by the way, have not been cleared in code yet, but apparently will be in December, but we've been told to act like they're active now. Interesting. We also are going to maintain 2 long observations and a short for all non-tenured employees. So first, second, third, and now 4th year employees. Remember, tenure was extended to 4 years. And we think that those long evaluations, like I said earlier, are real opportunities for growth. And it's something that we want to really shepherd our non-tenured faculty and staff through that process as using observations for a tool for instructional growth. And that concludes my report.
Okay, there are no board reports, and so we go right to public participation. We have 2 names, Jean Goldberg and Jennifer Goldberg. We have a 1 next to Jean, which I guess that means you're going first. Okay. Wherever you feel comfortable.
Well, I'm going to stand right here. I have places to put my hands. Bear with me. It took me 3 years to stand in front of you. I wanted no repercussions to my daughter. She started in Marlboro High as a freshman. She was bullied, silently, and a lot of you know the brick squad. That was her. Okay? I don't have to fill in the details. Across 5 towns, threatened to be thrown down steps. My beautiful daughter turned children, okay? And some of them misbehave, and they don't have compassion, and they don't know anything about it. But it comes from the top down, okay? And if the teacher doesn't point out to them, no, you don't act like this, you don't do that, and they close their eyes and they walk away, then all you're releasing into the world is a bunch of people with no morals. And nobody to help them. Because the psychologist tomorrow gave her a book, How to Improve Your Grades. And if mommy didn't see the red mark that a boy threw an eraser at her face, I don't know what would have happened to my child. Because she was spiraling before my eyes and I didn't know what was happening because she thought she could fix it herself. So, I don't expect you to tell me what's going on out there because I heard a few things about Dr. Holmes, okay? But if you lose him, you lose a good man, and you lose someone who helped a lot of kids out of that school, and all of your counselors should be just like him. They shouldn't be intimidated to go to counseling. They shouldn't feel like they don't want to talk to them. They should feel comfortable enough to go in. I can pay all I want, but 8 hours a day she's in school. And 8 hours a day when a child is going through a trauma or a parent passes away or something, they need that person they can go to. They don't need somebody who's going to sit there and take notes and be stiff and not smile and not be warm to them. They can go to the bank for somebody like that. So you're not answering me, and that's all fine and well. When you go to your office, you can look up her file, okay? And then you can look up her IEP, where it was written in there that Dr. Ullman gets to see her. And then if you want, I can bring you all the medical bills I spent over the years. Because, and in case you're wondering why I never did anything against the district, simple. My daughter came first. She was so broken, I didn't have the frame of mind to come after you. Okay? She is what counted. She hung on by a thread. And now, it breaks my heart that you're going to turn around and hang a man out to dry that helps these kids. Because you all have kids, you all have grandchildren, you all may have great-grandchildren one day. And you better pray they come across somebody like Dr. Holman. Because if they don't, and they need somebody like Dr. Holman, guess what happens? God forbid they be a number on a piece of paper. And if she has something to say.
Thank you, Jean. Jennifer?
It's okay to call. Relax. So, my question, and I'll and the first thing that I want to say is, the letter that I received, you signed off on it, and you said it wasn't against the law. But I went to the senator, and they said that it was the district's fault.
discussing any individual facts, if you will. The Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act, which is trumpeted as the most comprehensive anti-bullying law, I think all educators across the state would all concur that it is a law that has many, many fine points and many good things about it. But unfortunately, it is a law that has a very strict definition as to what statutorily is bullying. And the Commissioner of Education has made it very clear that if it doesn't fit the boxes, that I'm not speaking to yours, I'm only trying to offer an explanation as to how that law itself works. There was a concerted effort this summer by educators in the state, by the Commissioner of Education, by the State Board of Education to attempt to revise the regulations for that law to include elements that are more traditional in terms of the definition of bullying. So there has been a recognition by educators across the state. We are awaiting final action by the commissioners to those regulations, but it is a law that addresses many things, but it is a very rigid law, in that if it doesn't fit specific criteria, then it can be many things, but it just can't be HIB as that law defines it. And I say that not addressing anything about your particular situation, not getting into that. I just say that in terms of that is just how that law itself operates, and that's how it's set up.
That's the law, okay, and that's what's on paper. You're dealing with children.
I-
So now, if a child, and you know, a lot of you women, you have maternal instinct. You see a child in pain. Forget what's on paper, okay? You're supposed to take care of the child, okay? That was the missing link, okay? A parent is not looking for what's on paper. A parent is looking for action. Dr. Holman is what action is about, fixing it, okay? What's on paper.
I think
is
Mrs.
meaningless.
Goldberg, I understand that, and I think you and your daughter have spoken very eloquently. You've spoken very emotionally, very much from the heart, and I think that you have made very clear your feelings for Dr. Holman, and the board was listening to you and taking that all into consideration.
Yeah, I just want to say, Jen, I don't know you. I taught at the borough for 35 years. All I know is that the time I've been on the board, I know for a fact that we would never sweep anything under the rug when it comes to, somebody like being bullied. And I just want to say about what a politician said to you, I don't trust any politicians. So I don't know what he said to you, but I know here if it matched what the law says, whether you felt, like I know you might have felt bullied, and I'm sure you did. Okay, I'm not questioning that at all. I'm just saying we have to follow what the state says we're supposed to do. So all I know is that I would never, ever be complicit in sweeping anything under the rug when it comes to bullying, ever. Yes.
Okay, well, if half of that red felt being bullied, what do you call being hit, cyberbullied in school, screamed at, harassed to the point where I can't leave my locker, when I went to Dunkin' Donuts, I was getting bullied outside, in the mall, I was getting threatened. There was a group on Facebook threatening me. It was district-wide, Coltsneck, Manalapan, Marlboro. I got hit
Mrs. Goldberg, okay.
Shouldn't have to
I-
come to that. So you know what, you're a
Understand
lawyer,
that.
and I understand, and that works well in the corporate world, but these are children.
I understand that, Mrs. Goldberg, and you've made your point very eloquently, very, very, very passionate. And so, and that's, okay, and, okay.
You know, she's right. She deserves an apology for this answer. Okay? But I'll tell you one thing. If I find out that, now I can see I wasn't listening to it because I'm old. And because I've been on
Mrs. Goldberg, you're,
But if
why
I
don't you,
find out that any repercussions came down to the school counselor, okay, and that he is no longer with this district, I'll go to the governor. Because he's the only one that has my law. So, and you know what? I am a firm believer, okay, that God watches all. I don't care what God you pray to. I don't care if you're Catholic, you're Jewish, you're Muslim. There's a God out there. He watches all. And I believe he gets even somehow. So when you screw someone and you screw
Mrs. Goldberg, Mrs. Goldberg,
okay?
Mrs.
You got
Goldberg,
children and grandchildren.
Mrs.
Nobody
Goldberg.
will be there to help yours.
okay.
No one will
All
be
right,
there to
Mrs.
help
Goldberg,
yours.
thank you.
No one. And the governor will be hearing from me. Don't you worry about that. I suggest that he keeps.
Thank you, Mrs. Goldberg.
Yeah, just
I,
Mr. Moses, there's an addendum to the agenda, if I could announce that.
Please.
J, under the Education Program section, J9, approval to submit Play Unified School Partnership Grant application in an amount up to $25,000 to Special Olympics New Jersey. And again, that's J9.
Let's see, we have we have, the agenda goes from G1 to K1 with the,
Inclusive of J9.
J9. Okay, I'd take it all in one shot. Motion. Motion. Second. Second. Thank you, Sam. Discussion. Seeing none.
Mr. Acetola?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Canario?
Yes.
Mr. Carollo?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser? Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
Mrs. Sutera?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Okay, old business.
Go ahead, just new business. So we are, the board has just appointed Dr. Stefaro. Maria, if you could stand up. Maria is the new mathematics and science supervisor at Colts Neck High School. Maria comes to us from the Monroe Public Schools, where she's a mathematics team leader. She has her doctorate in mathematics and English degree as well. We discussed poetry in a math reading, interview, which I've never done before in my career. But also has taught in the Rutgers Graduate School for student teachers, so has a wealth of experience that we're really looking forward to Maria coming aboard here in the Freehold Regional High School District, and in particular Colts Neck High School. So Maria, welcome and all the best.
Maria, I just want to let you know that not all board meetings are like this. New business?
I have some business. I personally would like to thank Miriam Music, Committeeman Jordan Maskowitz, Manalapan High School Principal Dr. Adam Angelosi, and the Athletic Director John Hines for joining in a shared service agreement. The shared service agreement provides Manalapan Township with gym space and offers the high school various maintenance services which have been costly to the district. This memorializes the commitment of our schools have on helping residents in our community. The mayor and the township committee want me to thank Dr. Angelosi and his staff, along with the members of our board, for working side by side as a community partners and continuing to help make Manalapan a great place to live. Thank you, Dr. Adam Angelosi.
Any other new business?
We do have a new business resolution, Mr. Moses. It's, I'll read it. I guess it will be new business number 1. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Board of Education hereby suspends employee number 4098 without pay, effective immediately, in accordance with the provisions of NJSA 18A:6-14.
Motion.
Motion.
Liz, second. Any discussion?
Second.
No discussion.
Okay, it is a roll call vote because it's a personnel item, Mr. Boyce.
Mr. Espatola?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mrs. Canario?
Yes.
Mr. Carollo?
Yes.
Mrs. Fankhauser?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Messinger?
Yes.
Mrs. Sutera?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Motion carries. That's all set.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you, Pete.
Second.
Thank you. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
So shall you say, so shall it be written.